Hello, good day. I'm Charles. What I'm going to do is to present this simple program application I made named Quizmaker app. And first, let me discuss about the backend or the SQL server of this program application. This is the database named Quizmaker, and then this database has four main tables. What are those? Users, quiz join code, answer keys, attempts. Let's let's see first the users table. This users table has five columns. Name, user ID, user first name, user last name, passwords, and user type IDs. And I have 12 records on the table. And then this user ID is divided into two user type IDs. The value one is representing the teachers. This is the teachers record, and then all of the user type ID that has a value of two. This is all the students records. For the next table is the quiz join code, wherein I have three columns, namely code ID, quiz title, user ID, and then I have 10 records. These are the code IDs of the quizzes, and then the titles, and then the user ID. This user ID is the user ID of the teacher, the one who create all of these records. Then the table answer keys. I have 8 columns a total, and then 47 records, question ID, code ID, and then question, option one, 2, 3, 4, and the correct answer. Each code IDs has their respective question ID. And then, for example, this question ID 4083 has five questions, and these five questions have different question ID. And then next, for the table attempts, this table attempts has only four columns, namely attempt ID, then the code ID, the user ID, and then the scores. The score of students, rather, this user ID are all users ID of students, and I have a total of 35 records on the table. And then now let's go to the program. Let's run it. What I'm going to input here is let's create let's create this new user as the student, and it's a value of 2. Execute. It says one row affected. Let's see. I have now new record of students. Name Chris Brown and the passwords Max. User type ID is 2. It is student. And then the user ID of this student is 3011. Let's try it. Entering here 3011. Um, Max. If I click this login button, it will redirect to the student panel. But let's try entering wrong details first. Example, this one. It will if you try to enter wrong details or credentials, the two text boxes will clear, and then it will ask you again to enter the details correctly, but no message box. Uh, let's try it correctly. 3011. Then the password is Max. Login. It prompts a message, you are logged in as student, and then the student asks for quiz join code. What quiz join code are we going to create? Let's create first. Let's cancel. Then let's try to create quiz using the teacher. What use teacher ID we're going to use is the first one, the 2003. This is a teacher's ID, 2003. Max login. Oh no, I type spacebar. 2003 Max. And you were login as a teacher. Oh, currently I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 records of quizzes IDs available here. And let's check if these records are true. Yeah, there is 10 records existing. And then each quizzes ID. If I click this quizzes ID, there are four student, four ID attempt ID of students who took this quizzes code. And then here, this pays 4. And then these 4 students, their total average score is 12. Let's see each of these. 3, and then 4, and then 3, and 2. They are all different students. And then this quiz ID has many students who take this. We have 8 attempts, and the total average score of the students who attempt is 16. Then let's try creating one. By clicking OK will allow you to create quiz. If you're not ready to create yet, just click the cancel button. But in my case, I will click this OK button. For example, by the way, you can submit questions and submit and finish questions by clicking these two buttons if you're not able to create quiz title yet. But you can click the cancel button if you want to go back to the teacher's dashboard. And for example, my title of the quiz is math, math exam 1. Then create. Once created, you must finish making the quiz because there is no edit function. Is the quiz title correct? If you're not ready to create quiz yet, you can edit this title quiz because if you're already click the yes button here, you can't edit it anymore. In my case, yes. And you will see the quiz join code when quiz creation is finished. Okay. And then, as you can see, the button is already locked and you can edit the title. And then the program asked me to input some questions. For example, 10 plus 10. And then if you type questions here, these four text boxes will appear with the corresponding radio button here. This is, by the way, multiple choice only. This quiz is just for multiple questions. For example, 10 plus 10, for example, the answer is 20. Right? 20 rather. Then this is 56, 43, and 23. And the correct answer is 20. Let's select it. Submit. Questions and answer keys are added successfully. And then you can add many questions as you want. But if you want to finish the quiz, you need to click this submit and finish. But in my case, I wanna add as many questions as I want. For example, 50 minus 40. For example, the correct answer is 10. No, 10 and then 78, 90, and 45. And submit this question. You can submit and finish without submitting this question first. Oh no, please choose the correct answer on the given question. I forgot to select which choices here are the correct. Let's say it's 10. Then submit and then okay. By the way, you can cancel anymore. Go back to the teacher's dashboard if you already started the quiz questionnaires. Uh, let's add some. 2 minus 2. The answer is 0, 4, 5, and then 3. For example, this is the correct answer, 0. By the way, if you want to clear this text box easily and in a easy way, you need to excuse me, you need to clear this question like what I did, and then if you try to input another, for example, 0, 2 plus 3, and then the previous questions that we entered there is already cleared, and then 5, 6, 7, and 8, for example, right answer is 5. Added successfully, okay, and let's try another one. 8 times 1, for example, the answer is 8, and then 5, 4, 56. The correct answer is 8. Submit, and then keys added successfully, finish, and that's all for quiz creation and submit and finish. Posted, you're not allowed to edit again, yes. And then this is the for the teacher's dashboard. This is the newly created quiz, and previously we have 10 records, and now we have 11 records because we added another quiz. And then as you can see, no students attempted yet, and no average score, and there are no student ID attempt here. And let's try answering this on our own. Signing out, yes. And then let's use the let's use this user ID of the newly created user, which is student 3011 3011, then max. Oh no, 3011. I hit the space bar. Max. You are logged in as a student. And then what quiz join code are we going to use? Let's use the newly created one. Uh, 5085. First, let's see. Let's have before before and after. And then let's take a look who attempted the quiz. As you can see, nothing here. And then let's try 5089. Please enter valid code. I forgot 5085. 5085. Okay. Quiz code match. Click OK. Proceed answering all the questions. This is the student dashboard as you can see on the screen. And then this is the teacher's name, Artemis Apollon. Name of the teacher who created this quiz. And let's check for users. Apollon is the teacher. This is the only teacher. And then this is the code of the current quiz that we are taking. And you can view the questionnaires without starting this quiz. And you can submit answers without starting this quiz, of course. Let's start the quiz. By clicking start, you will not be able to log out unless you are done with the quiz. If you're not ready, you can click the no button, and if yes, in my case, I will click yes. Uh, the questionnaires already appeared, and I have four item questions here, and let's answer it. 2 plus 3, I have 5, and then if I click on this radio button, the submit answer will appear. Then click submit. Do you want to submit? If you make sure to check your answer. If you're not sure with your answers yet, you can click the no button and change your answer. In my case, I'm sure with my answer. It's 5. I'm clicking yes. Um, it said that our answer is correct in highlighted by green text. And then the result score is a total of 1. We have a correct answer 1, a total of 1 item of 4. The next question, 10 plus 10. That answer is 20. And for example, we answered it incorrectly. Let's select the 43. Submit answers. What will happen? Yes. It will prompt you that your answer is wrong, and then of course your score will not be incremented, will not be added because you answered this incorrect. Item 2 of 4. We have two remaining questions. Next, 50 minus 40, it's 10. Submit the answer. Yes. Next question. 8 times 1. Let's answer it incorrectly. 56. Submit answers. Yes. Your answer is wrong, of course. And finish quiz. Then it will prompt us that the total score is 2 out of 4 questions. And then click OK. Then it will ask us to log out because log out. And then let's try to log in the teacher's credential. We'll try to see if the user successfully take the quiz. What is the quiz? I forgot. 5085. 5085, and then this is the teacher credentials. Max login as teacher. Let's see. This is the newly added quiz ID, the 5085, and we have one attempt, and the average score of this student who attempt is 2. Then I have I have this the attempt ID of the student, and if I click this attempt ID, it will show the student ID, usernames, and the attempted score. And if I click this each of the quizzes ID here, it will show us the total number of students and their average scores. And then here it is. And let's try this diagram. I will explain simply this diagram I created. I have four tables, namely users, quiz join code, answer keys, attempts, and this user table. I have five columns, namely user ID. This is the primary key, and then user first name, last name, password, and the user type ID. And then this is related to table attempts, wherein this table attempts has primary key whose primary key is attempted ID, and then a foreign key of code ID, another foreign key user ID, and score. These two, this foreign key code ID is the primary key of the quiz join code, wherein the code ID is the primary key, and there is a quiz title, and then the user ID. This user ID is the foreign key of this table, but this user ID is the primary key of the users table. Then answer keys. This is the another table. Then question ID is the primary, and I have here a foreign key. This foreign key is the primary key of this quiz join code table, wherein its name is code ID, and I have question option 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the correct answer. Then let's try again. Let's try again answering some questions. I will log in as let's choose this student ID whose student user ID is 2004. 2004. And then Max, you are login a student. Okay. And then what quiz code are we going to take? Is the For example, this information technology quiz, uh, code ID 5079 5079. If I type it incorrectly, it will prompt a message. Please enter a valid quiz, and then clear the text box. Let's type it correctly. It will, yeah, it says that you already taken this quiz. It means that the user ID that we are using is already taken the quiz. And let's try some. For example, this. Math exam 1, 5083. 5083. Which join code match? Click OK and proceed answering all the questions. This code is not answered yet by this student ID. And then start. Yes, we have 5 questions. Let's answer it. 0, yes. 36, yes. Let's answer it incorrectly. 61, yes. Take note of the result score and the item 3 out of 5 questions. Next. And 10, yes. 6, yes. And we finish. We have 4 out of 5 questions. Log out. And let's use the teacher ID 2033. Password is max. Then what? I forgot. 50, 5083 rather. 5083. So this is the newly user. This is the new user who attempted this quiz join code, and then he appeared at the last attempt list. And then so far that's all for this session, and thank you for listening.